everybody, and welcome to All Rotarians Talk About It. So just to be sure that it's okay with COVID, I'm going to put on my mask. I have got to practice my German. Like, wie geht es dir, mein Freund? Wie geht es dir, mein Freund? Hey, I'm a good speaker in German. I have to practice a bit more because I'm really nervous. So our guest today is President Holger Knaack, President RIP, not rest in peace, but Rotary International President Holger Knaack from Germany. President Knaack.
Why are you wearing a mask? I think you're alone.
No, but because I was talking to you today, I wanted to be sure that you don't get the COVID from me.
Okay, that's good. That's a good reason. Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe I can clean my lens here, and
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you.
it's disinfected now, so we can have
the same thing. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, sometimes there are people looking much nicer wearing a mask.
yeah, of course. So, wie geht es dir, mein Freund?
Your first language is French, I assume.
Yes, it is.
And that's mostly it's easier to talk with people. So we are normally then on a more the same level with our amount of English words, and so it's easier to understand. It's an amazing story. By the way, they are from France.
Okay.
And I saw them when I think that's more than 20 years ago right now.
Oh.
So when I needed someone, and because when I was out of business, I don't wearing always jackets, and I don't know where to go with my glasses, and I hate change for men, you know. And then my optician showed me that. He said, "Wow, this is great. How many can you get?" And then give me a week, he said to me. And after a week, he said, "I'm able to get 5." I think, okay, I take all of them.
Wow.
I took 5, and I lost already 3. So there's just 2. Let's see. That's when I was surprised about the outcome when Mike McGovern called me and said, "Oh, I have the honor to tell you." I think, oh God, because that definitely changes your life totally. And so then I have to explain my wife Suzanne about that. But this was, so you're really blown away if you're hearing about that. You know, when I heard about that, and when I was excited, think, wow, this will change your life totally. You will be, so as I learned from Barry Rayson or from Ian Risley, you will be approximately 20 days at home in that year, not more. I think, oh, and I was really planning on that. Right now, I'm here at home since March.
Oh.
So yes, like being at home, I think it's the best place you can be right now. So that changes again everything. So I don't know. Probably I'm the first president never was in his own office. What easily could be. So I was just 1 week later. Suzanne and I, we flew to Evanston, and the first thing they asked me, what is your theme? How does your pin looks like? I said, hang on, I have no idea. No, it was a visit right after the Hamburg Convention. I visited a very old friend in Austria, the past RI director, and we talked about that. And he was so proud because this was the man, the first who was informed that I became a Rotary International Director 6 years ago. So and this, I visited him and we talked about, and he talked always about chances. And when I was with Susan on the way back from Austria, you know what, chances, and then we thought about opportunities. Opportunities is much better. And I still love this theme. And as long and as more often I'm talking about that, as more, yes, I think it's really fits. It fits to me, it fits to Rotary, it fits to the time. You don't have to be a philosopher but I love it because it works in different directions. That's why I really love this theme. It works definitely for the people we are serving. Because, you know, if we are providing a wheelchair, a microcredit, or basic education, we are definitely opening opportunities for the
And
people.
just for us, for the others.
But also for us, if you think about is why we are Rotarians. Of course, the opportunity for service,
Yeah.
but also it's also the opportunity for personal growth, being a better leader. There are so many things. We can also marketing Rotary if we are looking for new members. Think, hey, that's something in for you. Being a Rotarian, I think that's so important.
Yeah.
But then you get a real training. It's for a week. So it's regarding all these things. And as a president nominee, in this case, you have the privilege to be trained one by one by the general managers. But you know what? It's an ongoing process. I still don't know everything about that.
Of course.
But the good thing is we have really good staff members, and whenever you need some advice, whenever you need another information, you go on the phone or on a Zoom meeting and you will get really perfect answers. I think, you know, I was a member of Roundtable. Roundtable is an organization for young men that time.
Okay.
You have to leave this organization with 40. And I was for 10 years a member of this organization, nearly the same value, nearly the same service projects, but just younger. And by the way, what is interesting, Roundtable was founded from two people from England in 1927
Okay.
by two former Rotarians.
No.
By Rotarians who were tired to sit next to gray and white-haired old men. So they started a new organization, and to make sure that this organization not becomes too old, you have to leave it with 40. So I was member for 10 years, and many of our club members, of my friends, they moved to Rotary. And for me, you know, it was, I think it was pretty obviously that they would ask me to join the Rotary Club when I was 39, and it works. They asked me, and I was happy. Really, really happy to say yes. So one of my ideas was always, you know, there are so many university-based Rotary clubs, and in many parts of the world, Rotaracts are leaving their Rotary club with 24. And that's too young to leave Rotaract. And so I'm asking many of them, hey, if you're in business or if you're, so please try to create a community-based Rotaract clubs. And then they told me, you know what, Holger? So then we are with our families and our very small children and creating our jobs and our companies. And then, you know, it's hard work to create a Rotary club. And then you have to leave your friends if you're 30. That in many parts of the world, Rotaractors stayed longer, remains longer in their Rotary clubs than 30. So in my country, Germany, they are till 32. I know that the largest Rotary club in the United States, the Rotary Club of Alabama, they had their limit with 35 already.
Okay.
And you know, with this open up this upper age limit, that just following that what anyway happens in the world. You know, Rotaractors are no kids. They are with 30, they are really managers, they are young adults. Some of them are much more successful than many Rotarians are, being a manager or being an entrepreneur or whatever. They don't need Rotary International to tell them when they have to leave their friends. So I think it's up to them to define their own upper age limit in their club. There should be one, no doubt. You know, with all these Zoom meetings, Serge, I think I will be definitely the RI president with the most contacts to Rotarians all over the world. There are so many Zoom meetings every day, and I'm talking to many more Rotarians than traveling. So, there's one problem. The food at home is much better than being on planes or on Rotary events. The advice to everybody today is to make the best out of it how it is. And the best what we can do is doing Zoom meetings. I was already in the United States just in half an hour ago. I was in Japan this morning.
Yes.
For the Institute, yes. Had a long discussion, more than an hour, with district governors in Japan. So everything is possible. And I think we are becoming better and better and better and better using Zoom.
That's an opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank
Yeah.
you. I'm not proud. I think it's not a good thing being proud of yourself. I'm not. You know what? I think this is more or less terrible. I'm not even a proud Rotarian. I'm proud of Rotary. I'm proud of Rotary, of the organization, of all the people who are doing so much work. But to be proud of yourself, it's. I think that's not my attitude. Never ever.
Okay.
You know what? Especially being proud of being a German. This is something you can uh, rethink probably.
Yeah.
Probably right now, the last 10 years, yes, I think you can be proud being a German. Yes, that's probably right. But if you go into history, I think there are more situations. There's definitely no reason to be proud to be a German. Definitely not. I was involved because I was when I started Rotary with age of 40, I was one of the youngers in my Rotary Club, and then I took care of youth exchange. This was my first office in my Rotary Club was youth exchange. Yes, and at least it became really is part of my life. When after I was district governor, I became chairman of the German Youth Exchange multi-district, what include all districts in Germany. We had every year about 700 long-term exchanges and about 700 short-term exchanges.
Oh, wow.
So sending people out from receiving the same number of people, and all applications at least had my signage, and have done that for 6 years. And believe me, Serge, when I left office after 6 years, and I was so happy there was not one really serious and ugly incident. So that's one. We had one childbirth, by the way, in Germany. One exchange students, yes, coming to Germany. And I was so happy that it happens after 5 months. So that was very obviously, that was not the responsibility of the youth here in Germany. So that was.
Okay.
So my president was Bill Boyd. And the theme, you will never forget the theme if you have been district governor, that was Lead the Way. I still love that theme.
Yes.
Lead the way is something really what fits to every Rotarian, and every Rotarian should think about that. So probably don't follow always the advice of the adults. That would be something. So that's if that's what I'm also trying to tell today, Rotaractors or interactors. So develop your own vision. I think that's also important, and probably do always a little bit more than expected. That's always helpful.
Hey,
And then you have to decide where you stand, on what side, and really you find that's for me, I think, the most important thing. By the way, not just important for teenagers, also important for you and I.
Yeah, of
to,
course.
to always question yourself. Am I standing right now on the right side here, or are just following some bubbles or whatever? You know what?
Meet.
That's the first really difficult question here, Sash.
Yes.
It was easy. You know what? As an IRA president, it would be probably everybody expect. I said, wow, I would love to talk with Paul Harris. This is really. Can he tell you something really? Because the world changed since that time. And when he started Rotary, so the world looks totally different. So I think no, probably Paul Harris. There are some more, probably right now with our Bundeskanzler in Germany, because she's quite successful in what she have done the last days. And this is really about change. When I think it's about change and diversity. I met her some years ago. We had dinner together, yes, but definitely right now how this diversity and inclusion works in Germany, what is so important for nearly every part in the world. And this is something I think it's about change, it's about diversity, it's about inclusion, it's about being open to other people. This is something I think what could help me. You will be surprised, but that's what I'm, since a very small boy, I'm always impressed of Charlie Chaplin, and still probably more today, because he was a really genius. Being a director, being an actor, he was writing music. He was able to play music. He was a real genius. And what I liked Charlie Chaplin, that he gave us always a different perspective on the world. His perspective was totally different to ours, and even today. And so it's the first of all the perspective, and secondly, it's how to keep your happiness. You know that this is something I think we can learn from Charlie Chaplin. Whatever it is, make the best out of it, and still be being humble, being happy. I think happiness is it's about your own view on your life. And so what I'm definitely learned, I think what is really also important is, if you're happy, please don't try to be more happy.
Okay.
That doesn't work. You will fail, because this will be counterproductive. If you feel happy, please enjoy it. Enjoy it, and probably share your happiness with others. That's really how you can be more happy. Yes, just because something what really helps the world, and that would be love, more love among people, peace, and happiness. And with this, I think, especially also with happiness, we are solving all problems in this world.
Tell me something about you that nobody knows yet. Even Susan doesn't know.
And you think I would tell it to you right now?
Yes.
I don't think that's a good try, Serge. That's a really good try. Whatever. So things what Susan don't know, I don't think I would. No. I think
She knows everything.
Nobody would tell you that.
Oh, you could be surprised.
Yeah, I think making a fool of yourself, it's normally really happens. Probably remember the wrong name. So if I probably would always say to you, "Hi, Paul, great to see you again." And by the way, if you're becoming older, the names is one of our challenges. And trust me, I'm always very carefully in using names, because I'm sometimes not really know exactly the name of the person I'm talking to. Yeah. Sometimes I really don't know if this is the right name of the person I'm just thinking about. So I'm really carefully with names, because this can really make you a fool.
What would you do?
There's a good trick, you know that? So your first name is Serge, and your second name is?
In French is Poulain.
And normally, if I met you, I have no idea about your name. So I would say, "Hello, please, tell me your name." And then you would say, Serge. I think, okay, no, of course I know Serge. I know your other name. If we would say Pudin, I would say, of course I know Pudin, but what is your first name? You know? So that's the trick. That's the basis for Rotary clubs in Germany. That's first of all about friendship.
Friendship first.
We are definitely selecting our members like, integrity, personal and professional integrity is one really important thing. And service then starts. You know what? This is this question is. I like it. Yeah, I like it because it's whenever I'm hearing people talking about the 4-way test, it's always, really always, that they are pointing to others and said, "You are not following the 4-way test." That's not for what the 4-way test is. The 4-way test is just and always to question yourself, not to point to others. It's just to ask yourself. And this is something what is important here. I think that's the most important thing using the 4-way test. And by the way, that's what I love, but probably it's part of my attitude, questioning myself. Is it really right what I'm doing right now? I think that's behind the 4-way test. And so probably I'm solving problems if I'm asking both parties and saying, please start, first of all, before we start to discuss an issue, think about that. And this would be perfect if the politicians in this world would follow this idea, because they have, and especially if you think about our first question, is it the truth? Yeah. This is something, I think becomes more and more difficult today. Really nobody knows what is the truth today. Look at Facebook, is it the truth? Nobody knows that. But there was one add-on, I think that's really important, questioning yourself, and that's simply the question, am I honest? Mm-hmm. Is it the truth, comma, am I honest? I think that's about honesty here. And the whole four-way test, I think it's more or less about honesty. And so that's I like that. And again, I'm asking very often myself, is it okay what you're doing right now? And especially if we are talking right now, because that's an issue today, because it's an issue everywhere. If we are talking about discrimination of people, of different people, what is not just an issue in the United States right now, but this is a special issue there. But it's an issue everywhere. In my country, because of so many refugees right now here in my country. But very often you hear people saying, not really silly things, but wrong things. That's very easy to judge people from different continents. And then it's very easy to step in and say, yes, you're right. Before you say, Ref, yes, you're right, you really sit down a little bit for just some seconds and think, is this okay what I'm doing right now? It's easy to follow some sayings, but really to question yourself, hey, are you standing on the right side? Or I think this is so important. And the second thing, what is here important, is to stand up and to say something against that. Even if we are among friends, especially then. That's the difficult part of that. What I'm talking about right now, always, Serge, I'm always talking about change. So probably change. Yes, probably change is possible, even in Rotary. So
that's not easy to move things after 110 years. Yeah.
Three things for me, not just one, for three things. It's of course because it's so actual, the fight against COVID-19, of course. If vaccines are successful and if we are able to vaccinate people, that's no doubt. I think everybody's thinking about that. Of course, peace efforts it's so important, and we really have to realize about climate change. I think that's, for me, it's high time to do that. Peace among people, among nations, of course, but also peace with our environment. I think this is that's for me it's high time for that right now. Even if there are many people in the world, no, there are not so many, but some people don't want to hear about that. But I think it's obviously wherever you look today, climate, what happens with typhoons and hurricanes and floodings and droughts here in my country. We have never had so less rain than this year in Germany. Oh, yeah. So we never thought about that water could be an issue because there are lakes everywhere, but it is an issue, definitely. You are asking someone from the middle of Europe.
Yeah.
And in Europe, there are so many different countries, so many different languages, by the way, uncountable many different cultures here. And this issue with different languages, that's a pretty normal issue in Europe. It could be difficult if I think of countries like Belgium, where they have the Dutch-speaking part, the Flemish-speaking part, and the French-speaking, Wallonish-speaking parts. And this country had really also problems in getting in a government together. So that's I think, but if it's not about languages, they are all friends. But when it comes to languages, that's really dividing the country. There's another really great example, and this is for me the best example, and that is Switzerland. There are 4 languages in Switzerland. Okay, the old Romanic language you can forget, but this is German, and then you have the French-speaking parts around Geneva, and the Italian-speaking part. Okay, and I remember when I was joining a district conference, So everybody is really taking care of involving all languages. So I was in a district, what is, I think, 1/3 French speaking and 2/3 German speaking. And in this district, so the district governor simply starts in French and then switched to German and then switched to French again, and taking care that he's speaking 1/3 of his speech in French and 3/3 in English, in German. And so when I was president's rep, I tried to do the same. Well, it doesn't work very good, but even if I was learning for 5 years French at school, but it works. So I have done this. I think this is for me the best example ever. They don't care of the language. They really try to reflect every language in their country. I think that's a great example. Switzerland. Thank you very much. So I know, and you know, and all of us knows about Rotary meetings. When it's an hour, it's long, and sometimes it's also, you know, that Rotary Club meetings can be boring, but this was really great fun. Thank you very much for this.
I will always remember you as the COVID governor. You know that in my Rotary Club, we have a Rotary song. We made a song with the Flintstone theme.
Good. If it doesn't work, I try to ask you to cut it.
Yep, of course.
All together with Rotary, let's live. All together, taking time to swing into action. With a lot of friendly members. Dynamic. I have to learn a lot. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yabba yabba do. Yabba yabba do.